investments. Ladies and gentlemen, a fund entrusted with the wealth of generations must itself be worthy of that trust. That is why this Act places governance, transparency, and accountability at its very heart. The Sovereign Wealth Fund will belong not to my administration, but to the Republic of Kenya. It will be managed according to the law, our Constitution, and the enduring interests of the Kenyan people. The Act provides for independent professional management, strong parliamentary oversight, and transparent public reporting and robust auditing. Every shilling must be accounted for. Every decision must be guided by prudence. Every investment must be measured by the legacy it leaves for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, history seldom remembers nations for resources they possessed. It remembers them for the choices they made with those resources. The nations that achieve lasting prosperity share one defining characteristic. They think beyond the present. They plan in decades, not election cycles. They build institutions that endure across administrations and across generations. Permit me to express my appreciation that today Kenya chooses, History, as I said, seldom remembers nations for resources they possessed. It remembers them for the choices they made in the use of those resources. The nations that achieve lasting prosperity share one defining characteristic. They think beyond the present, they plan in decades, not in election cycles, and they build institutions that endure beyond administrations and across generations. Permit me to express my appreciation to the National Assembly and the Senate for the diligence, patriotism, and sense of national purpose with which they have passed this legislation. You have not merely passed laws, you have laid the legislative foundations of a transformation that will outlive every one of us. History will remember you not as the parliament that debated Kenya's future, but one that legislated it into being. These laws will strengthen our financial system, modernize our economy, and lay foundations upon which future generations will continue to build. Today, Kenya chooses that discipline. We choose to save, to invest, to preserve, to build, and above all, we choose to honor the constitutional covenant that binds one generation to the next. The question history will ask us is not what we inherited, but what we bequeathed the next generation. And I want to appreciate the leadership of the Speaker, the speakers of both houses, the people of Kenya who came with ideas, the private sector players who informed the public participation, and the bipartisan engagement in Parliament. It went beyond sides. the entire House came together to build consensus on what we do with our present as we focus and connect it to the future. I must say, I appreciate Parliament's role in the last 3 years. The Speaker said here very ably what we have managed to achieve in the space around our economy and the transformation that we have undertaken from the housing fund through the social health insurance fund to the primary health fund to the emergency fund to all the other transformational legislation from government-owned enterprises, Privatization Act, National Infrastructure Fund, now Sovereign Wealth Fund, and all the other pieces of legislation that have been undertaken by Parliament. Every proposal we have taken to Parliament has been subjected to the people's views in public participation, to parliamentary debate, and strengthened in the process. And we can proudly say today, while 3 years ago we were staring at a default, while 3 years ago I sat in room 6 here with my very able team, to which I am very grateful to them. And we had dollar reserves of just 2.5 months of import cover, about $5.7 billion. Today, Tuga is sitting in our midst here, our governor. Our foreign exchange reserves is going now to maybe 7 months of import cover. I think just yesterday or the day before, we are almost tripling our foreign exchange reserves in Kenya. That is extraordinary. And I want to thank these great men and women who have assisted me in putting this together with a lot of courage and with a lot of focus. Numbers are beginning to show. Just yesterday, or is it the day before, UNCTAD released their report, and Kenya has increased its foreign direct investment from $1.5 billion 3 years ago to $3.2 billion today. And we are moving. I have asked the Deputy President to chair the government committee that is going to work with private sector investors and players for what will be one of the largest investments in our country. The investment in the East African oil refinery, a 2.2 trillion shilling investment in our country. And we have already set a date for the groundbreaking, just for your information. So, we are taking steps in making sure that we take our country. When we say we are moving this country to a first world status, we want to match our commitment with our actions. May history record that we honor the trust placed in our generation, not by exhausting our nation's resources, but by preserving, growing, and expanding them. May future generations look upon this moment, and representatives of that future generation are here with us this morning, and say, They did not consume our inheritance. They secured it. They did not merely govern for their time, they governed for us as well. God bless you all. God bless Kenya. And I wish you all the very best this moment. Asanteni sana. And to all our friends who have come here, I know there are many actors. My good friend Tadese from TDB Bank here. Our good friends from IFC are here. From the World Bank are here. Our good friends from ATD are here. All the good people from, I see the new chairman of the Nairobi Stock Exchange or Securities Exchange here, Mr. Mulwa, and the immediate former is here, and many other people who are here. I see many fund managers. I see many pension fund people here, many people from the banks. If there was a moment we are discussing real money, this is the moment. And we are discussing it with the right people. And I am very confident about the economic future of our country. I think the more we pull together, the more we understand what we are doing, listening to all the captains of our financial institutions here, from the pension funds all the way to the banks, it gives me a lot of confidence that we are now in sync, that the future of our nation is not just in the hands of government, it is in the hands of our society, that the private sector is as much part of the discussion about the governance of our country and the future of our country as it is the responsibility and business of every citizen of our republic, that our children, Lynn and Ronnie, representing them here, are also part of the conversation about our country and about our future. It's a very proud moment for me as we take these steps, consequential, historic steps of taking our country to the next level. I see people from the insurance industry and all the other players, and when I listen to what they are saying, deepening the financial markets, I have been to the Nairobi Securities Exchange 5 times. Not because I have no work to do. I have been there intentionally to give confidence that we believe in the capital markets as a source, as an alternative source of capital for us to transform our country. I must commend the capital markets. They have helped us fund Talanta Raila Odinga Stadium. They are helping us fund Bomas of Kenya. The creative, and innovative structuring of opportunities for us to be able to undertake some of our very consequential infrastructure projects, from Rironi Mau Summit to all the other programs, has been a partnership between government and the private sector. And I want to commend the private sector for stepping forward, being as courageous as us. Because in the past, the private sector were very shy. Today, we have very bold people. And I want to commend you. I don't take your participation, your partnership, for granted. It is making a difference in our country. And this is the kind of collaboration and partnership between private sector actors, banks, pension funds, capital markets, investors, coming together so that we can build a nation. Listen, often the public is stranded with big projects that require funding. And the private sector, on the other side, is always stranded with a lot of money, not knowing where to invest. I am happy that we are now building the ecosystem that enables private sector resources to fund public assets in a win-win outcome. That ecosystem is what is going to make a difference in our country. It is innovative. It builds on all our strengths. What the government can do best, let government do. What the private sector can do best, the private sector should. And that is why it was necessary for us to change the Privatization Act. It was also necessary for us to amend the law on public-private partnerships so that we can get more private sector actors into the public space. I am very happy that this morning we are here. It's a very proud moment for me, and that we are making the right steps, taking our country into the future. I want to give you my assurance that under my administration, we will work with all actors. We will work together in a way that brings the whole nation together. I must thank the political class. I want to commend the Honorable Oburu Odinga, now the leader of ODM, for coming together under the broad-based arrangement. Today, John Mbadi is providing leadership that has never been witnessed. I can confirm to you, John, that when I write my book, you will have ample space on what you and me have discussed, and your team at the Treasury, of course, including all the other actors that have taken this to the future. I also must commend the Leader of Majority, who is here, and our members in Parliament, members of the Finance Committee, all the members. They've been, I remember on, I think it was Wednesday, last week, and I was out of the country. I had gone to attend the graduation of my daughter. And discussions in Parliament went up to midnight. Consultations outside the official space in Parliament. And I was with Lawrence there, and he was in consultation. They were on a call with Parliament. And finally, Parliament came together in a very bipartisan way and said we must move the country forward. I commend them. And thank you very much, Kimani, for your leadership, the chair of our Finance Committee for his leadership, and all the other actors. I don't take it for granted, because I know what it means. We have tried to do this as a country for many years. It has not happened, not because others did not try, not because they didn't want to do it, but it didn't come together. We are privileged that we have managed to bring it together. So thank you very much, and God bless you.
I will request that we all be upstanding as we come to the formal and official close of this particular ceremony with the national anthem. So wherever we are, kindly let us be upstanding for the anthem. With your permission, Your Excellency.